China versus Japan at the movies.
When discussing anti-Japanese dramas, most people think of recent national films such as hand-tiered Japs and bombs hidden in steamed buns. However, the tradition of anti-Japanese cinematic and television dramas has been popular in Hong Kong and Taiwan since the 1970s. The origins of these productions trace back to Hong Kong film studios 50 years ago, where elements of national consciousness awakening can be found within the vast landscape of Hong Kong cinema. In the 1960s, Hong Kong's economy experienced rapid growth, while the Red Wave was at its peak in mainland Asia. Despite its geographical isolation, Hong Kong swiftly integrated into the region's development, leading to a growing demand for regional autonomy. This blend of economic integration and cultural autonomy fostered remarkable diversity within Hong Kong's cultural sphere during that decade. From here I want to send a warm greeting to members Brian Mills, Jawara, and Rohan Koshan. This particular form of autonomy is conveyed more accessibly and with a dramatic flair in cinema. Alongside the rise of kung fu films across Asia, anti-Japanese dramas inspired by Hong Kong style emerged. These films have repeatedly reinforced their own vision of independence while steering martial arts movies away from their original path. In doing so, they have created a new type of martial arts film distinct from the chivalrous and sentimental ones, a unique take on kung fu cinema. Hong Kong's anti-Japanese films have a distinct style compared to those from the Shaw Brothers studio, which is dominated by the martial arts of Zhang and Hu. In contrast, anti-Japanese dramas possess a raw texture and evolve in a more untamed manner. The sudden rise of Golden Harvest has infused these dramas with greater passion, diversity, and excitement. From Wang Yu's bloody anti-Japanese war under Shaw Brothers to Bruce Lee's international success with Golden Harvest, Japanese samurais are consistently portrayed as being soundly defeated. What is the underlying connection? Let's explore it together. After the great success of One-Armed Swordsman, Wang Yu established himself as the most prominent star of Shaw Brothers in the late 1960s. His level of autonomy within the production company was only comparable to that of Li Lihua, allowing him complete freedom as a director, screenwriter, and lead actor. In many of his films, Wang Yu skillfully avoided narrative weaknesses, driving the story forward through intense conflicts. As a result, his plots remained simple in structure, but the fight scenes were executed flawlessly. In the 1970 film The Chinese Boxer, Wang Yu took the concept of personal heroism to the extreme. Driven by his thirst for revenge, he became a ghostly figure, eliminating Japanese pirates with a sharp knife and using the sheer strength of his hands as lethal weapons. His brutal and direct fighting style stood out among the Shaw Brothers productions of that year, leaving a lasting impression on those unfamiliar with the power of kung fu films. Thanks to its cult classic status and low-budget production, The Chinese Boxer became a popular choice among Hong Kong patriots seeking to express their emotions. The overwhelming success of One-Armed Swordsman and the positive reception of The Chinese Boxer gave Wang Yu the confidence to part ways with Shaw Brothers. However, the studio effectively preserved the ruthless and intense aura characteristic of his films, turning it into a powerful tool to captivate audiences in future kung fu productions. In King Boxer, directed in 1972 by renowned South Korean filmmaker Jung Chang-ha, the theme of raw violence and conflict continued. However, the most dramatic shift occurred with the lead actor, Lo Li, who had previously portrayed a villain in The Chinese Boxer, stepped into Wang Yu's place and transformed into a messenger of justice. Utilizing ancient Chinese boxing, he repeatedly delivered critical blows to Japanese samurais, cementing his role as a defender of righteousness. As a seasoned director, Zheng Changhe surpasses Wang Yu in his ability to convey the emotions of the characters. While maintaining the quality of martial arts scenes, the narrative structure of King Boxer is more multidimensional, inclusive, and explosive. Over time, the Chinese boxer may have faded into obscurity, but King Boxer gained remarkable popularity abroad. Its box office success brought wealth to Mr. Shaw and turned Lo Li into the first internationally famous kung fu superstar, even before Bruce Lee. In 1972, Jang Il-ho, the Korean elder brother of Zheng Changhe, recognized the great potential of anti-Japanese kung fu films. That year, he directed two notable productions, Fist of Vengeance and Falling Leaf Flying Dagger. Despite the participation of Shaw Brothers stars such as Ling Yun, Shi Si, and Ching Li, Jan, who had been away from the film industry for a long time, faced significant challenges in directing kung fu movies. As a result, both films performed disastrously at the box office and earned the worst reputation among Shaw Brothers productions. However, if viewed simply as magical anti-Japanese dramas, they may offer a certain emotional solace.
Japanese.
You're a Quan. You've got no right to be here.
Cao Cao, I know that you must hate me.
After exploring the history of the Shaw brothers, it's time to turn our attention to Wang Yu. This iconic actor joined Golden Harvest in 1971, bringing with him one of the most influential martial arts film franchises from Hong Kong, One-Armed Swordsman. Upon his arrival at the company, Zhou Wenhui lived up to expectations by orchestrating an epic showdown between the legendary One-Armed Swordsman and the renowned blind warrior Zatoichi. Thus, Wang Yu, representing Hong Kong cinema, and Katsu Shintaro, a Japanese film icon, engaged in a definitive duel. Clashes between such masters are always shrouded in uncertainty, where every move and decision can change the outcome in an instant. To balance audience expectations in both countries, Golden Harvest and Toho each produced a version of the One-Armed Swordsman versus the Blind Man. In Golden Harvest's version, the One-Armed Swordsman defeats Zatoichi, while in Toho's version, Zatoichi emerges victorious. As a result, the question of who is the strongest between these legendary warriors has endured as an eternal mystery. The films One-Armed Swordsman and One-Armed Boxer strongly reflect nationalist sentiment and intense portrayals of violence in action cinema. One-Armed Swordsman, being a co-production between Hong Kong and Japan, aimed to cater to Japanese audiences. However, the following year, Wang Yu openly demonstrated his stance by directing and starring in a film based on the same intellectual property, fully unleashing the underlying nationalist tension both on and off the screen. In One-Armed Boxer, the Japanese samurai is depicted as a ruthless, almost demonic figure, akin to the Rakshasa from Japanese mythology. The fight scenes escalate in brutality, surpassing even the violence of the Chinese boxer. From severed limbs to gut-wrenching disembowelment, the film showcases the aesthetic of low-budget action movies while reinforcing a sense of opposition to the enemy and a glorification of China. In his latest martial arts films, Wang Yu continues to showcase his vigorous presence as he faces Japanese invaders in Golden Harvest Productions. Beach of War, a film he directed and starred in 1973, extends the theme of individual heroism within a historical setting. The movie not only delivers 40 intense minutes of street fights between Chinese and Japanese martial arts masters but also helped broaden the recognition of national sentiment. Through this work, Wang Yu used the anti-Japanese cause to highlight the integrity of ancient chivalrous figures, effectively unifying individual character and collective identity. In an era where heroes emerged in great numbers, Wang Yu still stood out with a commanding and charismatic presence, somewhat overshadowing his contemporaries at Golden Harvest. This dynamic only shifted when Bruce Lee burst onto the Hong Kong film scene, transforming the industry. Wang Yu and Bruce Lee shone like twin stars, illuminating the Golden Harvest kingdom as it soared to success. Lo Wei was regarded as the most impressive director at Golden Harvest at the time, having accumulated extensive experience as a filmmaker in his former studio, Shaw Brothers. With Raymond Chow's support, every film project he directed in those days was a major production. When Bruce Lee joined Golden Harvest, his collaboration with Lo Wei seemed like the perfect match, positioning him as the potential leading director of the company. The core creative team continued the successful formula of Wang Yu's previous kung fu films and worked together to adapt the timeless classic Fist of Fury for Bruce Lee in 1972. In the film, Bruce Lee abandoned traditional martial arts routines and completely transformed the way martial arts masters of the time viewed combat by introducing techniques that closely resembled real fighting. His fierce attacks are showcased in the most direct way, with movements that are intense, commanding, and lightning fast, delivering an unprecedented visual impact to the audience.
Let me take care of him.
The death of Chen Zhen in Fist of Fury turned him into a legendary figure, while the film's success cemented Bruce Lee as a symbol of the spirit of the people of Hong Kong and, even more so, of the Chinese community worldwide. The movie stirred deep nationalist sentiments, raising national pride to its peak under Bruce Lee's influence. Bruce Lee, who passed away in 1973, left behind a legacy that continues to be shared by countless people. Before he became an unstoppable force in Hong Kong, the film studio Golden Harvest sought to create a female kung fu superstar to rival him, Mao Ying. Later, director Huang Feng and Mao Ying traveled to South Korea, where, in the early 1970s, they produced two anti-Japanese films, Hapkido and Iron Palm Tornado Kick. Beyond Mao Ying's lightning-fast kicks, which rivaled Bruce Lee's own, the films stood out for their central theme, China and South Korea joining forces against Japan, adding a compelling narrative element. To Hong Kong, which had long operated independently, South Korea appeared as an old friend after many years apart. In the face of dominance and power struggles, Hong Kong no longer stood alone.
Here comes the lethal lady of Kung Fu. Just watch her go into action. That whips you up and wipes you out. Lady Kung Fu, the unbreakable China doll who gives you the licking.